Today I'll be working on a 2013 Mazda 3.
The truth.
So I've been hearing a weird noise out of the Mazda, especially like when I turn it left and right. So I have a sneaky suspicion I may know what it is. I mainly hear it from the back, but it's kind of hard to determine exactly where it's coming from while you're in the car. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a minute. Alright, so drive it around a bit, see if I can't get it to make the noise, and hopefully you can hear it on camera. I heard it a little bit. I don't know if it's going to pick up well on the camera or not. I've noticed it before when I make turns, so... Oh, there it goes. Definitely coming from the rear end. Hearing the clunks. Sounds like it's making a squeak too, so... We'll get it back to the house in just a few minutes. See what we can't figure out. Of course, the way I wanted to go is blocked. I guess we're gonna go right. Oh, there it is again. Whenever I hit some like potholes with the back tires, I hear it clunk around a lot. Kind of a good sign it's coming from the rear end. I can try and narrow it down. Kind of hard to tell if it's from the right or the left though. Every once in a while they do these little festivals in the middle of the downtown area. So, kind of cool. Had live music and stuff like that. Oh god, heard it a lot when I went over the railroad tracks there. Alright, let's get this thing back home, get it up with some jack stands on the rear end and see what I can find out. I know this video is a little bit different than the style I usually shoot, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. Well, now that I've got the Mazda back at the house, I'm going to jack it up and see what I can see underneath. Alright, now that I got up on some jack stands, I'm just going to kind of wiggle things around, see if anything makes some weird noises, see if I notice anything, but I have a sneaky suspicion it's these joints for the sway bars. So I notice it makes a clunk sound every time I turn like a corner, so I'm wondering if it's the twist of the sway bar. It's causing like maybe the bushing up here to clunk. So I might check those, I might disconnect the sway bar, and then take it for a test drive and see if it still makes those noises too. If it still makes the noises after the sway bar's been disconnected, we can kind of eliminate that as a problem. I'll also wiggle the tire around, see if it's one of the bushings for the wheel bearing and stuff like that as well. So let's figure out what it is. I'm not hearing any noises trying to wiggle the tire, and it doesn't really move either. Stay nacho. He's gone. Well, my suspicions might be wrong. Just wiggling this thing around, I'm not hearing any abnormal noises. I checked on the other one as well. It's also not making any noises on me. But we're still going to test it and see. I actually may not be far off. That's making a good amount of noise. I don't know if it's picking up on the camera too well. It sounds like it's coming from these bushings here. So what I'm going to do is I'll zip tie this thing up, keep it up out of the way, and take it around the block, see if I can't make it to make the noise. If the noise goes away, it might be those bushings. I might have to take them out, replace them, lube them up, something. But let's test drive it first after we get this up out of the way. Alright, I've got both sides zipped up out of the way. It does have some clearance between the sway bar and the cross beam there. So that way if it does need to move or whatever, it can. But it won't be affecting the movement of the sway bar. Like I said, I did do both sides. So now I'm going to take it for a test drive around the block and yeah, see if it still makes the noise or not. If it doesn't, then it's definitely something going on with the sway bar or the end links. If it does still make the noise, then I've got another issue. But just keep in mind, this is not a permanent solution. This is just temporary. So yeah, let's go check it out. All right, let's go see if it makes a noise. So far, nothing coming out of the driveway. It's funny, people staring at me with the camera up. I don't know how well it picked it up on camera before, but it did always sound like some large piece of metal was falling around in the back of the car. Every time I'd make a turn or start or stop. But now I'm not really hearing that noise too much, but we are going to take it around the neighborhood a bit more. I'm not hearing it at all now. $240 maybe? Yep, I think it was the sway bar all along. So what I might have to do is take the brackets off of that sway bar. So, come back up to the house, let's jack it back up, and get those brackets for the bushings off. Alright, well it seemed like that was the cause of the noise, the sway bar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jack up the back of the car. We're going to take off those zip ties. And I'm going to take off the 2 bolts on each side for the... My dog's going insane. For the sway bar mounts, like the brackets. And we'll inspect those, see if anything's going on there. There we go. Alright, now before I get this thing too far away, I'm actually going to take my paint marker, mark it as passenger side and driver's side just so I don't get messed up whenever I go to reinstall it. So as you can see, I put a P for the passenger side, and I got one over here on the driver's side. It says D, so I know which side's which. But we're going to go ahead and take these off, and I want to look inside of each one of these. I can already see a lot of dirt inside here, so we'll see how bad it really is once we get it pried off. Oh, there it goes. Jesus. Really on there. Look at the inside of this thing. It doesn't look too bad. A little dirty, but not too bad. Let's pop off the other side and see what that looks like. Yeah, not terrible inside there. Not even inside this one. Besides the line of dirt right here. Maybe it just wasn't sitting right. inside the bracket, but it's got this groove that kind of matches up with the groove inside the bracket here, so it's kind of hard to get it wrong. But maybe when I installed it before, it was off. It looks like it was. If it was sitting way out here, yeah, that would have caused it. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up these, clean up the brackets, clean up the sway bar, just pretty much wipe them down. When I installed these from Whiteline, it said do not put grease on the inside, so I'm going to stick with that and not put grease on there. But I will like clean it out with some water at least and get all the dirt and grime out of there that's been building up. Alright, now things are cleaned up. I'm going to go ahead and put the bushings back on the sway bar and then mount the brackets on, making sure to get it even on both sides. Looks like it did leave a good indent of a line on this one. Even after cleaning it, it's still pretty crushed on there, but I'll make sure I get it even this time. They definitely look a lot more even on the brackets, and they move relatively freely too on here. So that's a good sign from before when it was like super stiff to even turn the sway bar with the bracket, but they both move relatively freely. Now let's go ahead and get this reinstalled back on the car. Alright, so I got these guys started by hand. Now I'm going to go ahead and torque them down all the way, and then I'll be reattaching the end links to the bar and then up to this cross arm. Well, it definitely moves more freely now, not as tight as it used to be, so guess that's a good sign. So I left the ones up here loose for now. I want to put some 2x4s underneath the tires just to give myself some clearance, so when I lower the car back down, these will shoot all the way up and then I can tighten them all the way as well. Alright, now that it's up on a 2x4, I've got some room to work up in here, but now I can tighten these guys up with it resting on the ground. Now you can see that I tightened up the driver's side. The passenger side kind of poked out a bit. So we're going to go ahead and tighten that one up all the way. Alright, now that one's tight, we're going to get it back down on the ground all the way. Get these blocks out from underneath here. Take it around the neighborhood again, see if it makes the noise. So far, no noise coming out of the driveway, at least. Let's go down the street and see what we can hear. Well, so far, no clunking sound. That may have been the cause of my problem all along. It's that nice TO or TSX again. Well, it sounds like whatever that horrible noise was, I resolved it, so that's always a good sign. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this style of video. I know it's a bit different than what I usually do, but had to fix the Mazda, so figured why not tag along with me. Well, if you have any questions or comments about this video, please leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll try and answer them as soon as I can. If you like the background music in any of these videos, check out the artist's SoundCloud, put the link in the description.